Welcome to the Dermatology Studio with Dr. Yusra Ayaz.
Hey, welcome. Today, we're diving into a condition that so many people deal with every single day, atopic dermatitis. You probably know it better as eczema, but it's way more than just a simple itch, right? It's a really complex, often frustrating skin condition. So in this explainer, we're going to break it all down: what it is, what's really happening under your skin, and what it looks like in the real world.
So here's our game plan. We're going to start with the basics, then get into the science of why the skin's protective barrier starts to break down. After that, we'll look at the everyday things that can trigger a flare-up and the classic signs you see. Then we'll see how eczema actually changes as you go from being a baby to an adult. And finally, we'll touch on the bigger picture, complications and other conditions that can look a lot like it. Let's get right into it.
All right, so first things first, let's tackle that big question. What exactly is atopic dermatitis? Let's build up a really clear definition so we're all on the same page. Okay, so at its very core, atopic eczema is defined by a few key things. First, it's incredibly itchy. Second, it's chronic, and that's a big one. It means it's a long-term thing, with periods where it gets better and periods where it flares up. And it's all driven by inflammation. But here's a really crucial piece of the puzzle: when it usually starts. And that's almost always in early childhood, typically before a kid even turns 2.
Now, you can't really talk about atopic dermatitis without understanding the word atopy. Think of atopy as a genetic tendency to develop allergic diseases. It's like a whole family of related conditions: eczema, asthma, and hay fever. If you've got one, your odds of having another go way up. This whole tendency is powered by a part of your immune system that makes something called IgE antibodies. You can think of these as the body's super-sensitive alarm bells for allergies.
So how does a doctor actually diagnose this? Well, there's no single test for it. Instead, they kind of play detective using a checklist. The first and most important box to tick is always an itchy skin condition. After that, they look for at least 3 other clues. For instance, did it start before age 2? Has it shown up in the skin creases? Is the skin just generally really dry? Is there a personal or family history of other allergies like asthma? And finally, can they actually see that rash in those classic spots like behind the knees or in the crooks of the elbows?
And if we want to get just a little more specific, atopic eczema is often split into 2 main types, and it's all based on those IgE allergy alarm bells we just talked about. The most common type is called extrinsic, and that's where blood tests show really high levels of IgE, confirming that strong link to allergies. But then there's a less common type, intrinsic, where it looks and feels just like eczema, but, and this is the interesting part, the IgE levels are totally normal.
Okay, so we've covered the what. Now let's get into the why. What is actually going wrong at a microscopic level in the skin to cause all this trouble? It really all comes down to the skin barrier. See, healthy skin is like a solid brick wall. It keeps moisture locked in and keeps irritants out. But things in our environment, like harsh soaps or even hard water, can start to chip away at that wall. And this is where genetics plays a huge part, especially a gene that makes a protein called filaggrin. In healthy skin, filaggrin gets broken down and becomes the skin's own natural moisturizing factors. But for a lot of people with atopic dermatitis, a glitch in that gene messes up the whole process. The result? You get a weak, leaky barrier that just can't hold on to moisture. So when you have that weak, compromised skin barrier we just talked about, suddenly the outside world can feel like it's full of enemies. And that brings us right to our next topic: the everyday triggers that can set off a flare-up and the classic signs they cause on the skin. I mean, just look at this list. The triggers are everywhere, and they're so varied. It can be anything from soaps and dust mites to something as simple as a wool sweater or the cold, dry air in winter. Even getting too hot, sweating, stress, or a small skin infection can be enough to kick things off. And all of this feeds into that horrible itch-scratch cycle. The itch is intense, so you scratch. But scratching just damages the skin barrier even more, which causes more inflammation, which leads to, you guessed it, even more itching. It's a vicious loop. So what does this actually look like? Well, itching is always symptom number 1. You'll also see red patches and sometimes tiny little bumps. But over time, from all that constant scratching, the skin itself starts to change. It can get thick and leathery. That's a process called lichenification, and you'll see raw scratch marks. The chronic inflammation can also mess with skin color, cause extreme dryness, and basically leave the door wide open for infections because that protective barrier is gone.
You know, one of the most fascinating things about atopic dermatitis is that it's a moving target. The way it looks and where it shows up on the body can totally change as a person gets older. So let's follow that journey, all the way from infancy through to adulthood.
Okay, so in babies, eczema almost always kicks off on the face, especially those chubby cheeks. But what's really interesting is that the diaper area is usually completely clear. Then, once the baby starts crawling, the rash moves to the surfaces that are rubbing against the floor, so the knees and the elbows. The patches themselves are usually red, a little swollen, super itchy, and can often get weepy or crusted over. And this image is a perfect example of what we're talking about. You can see that classic presentation on a baby's foot, another one of those exposed surfaces when they're kicking around or starting to crawl. See that redness and those little bumps, the papules? That is so typical of this early stage.
Now, as the child gets a little older, the eczema actually migrates. It moves into what we call the flexures, the bendy parts of the body, like the crooks of the elbows and right behind the knees. You'll also often see it on the neck, wrists, and ankles. At this stage, the skin can be a real mix of redness, crusting, and that thickened, leathery texture from scratching. And sometimes you'll see a pattern of darker skin on the neck. It's sometimes called an atopic dirty neck, but it's really important to know that's just a change in pigmentation, not actual dirt.
These two images are just a perfect illustration. On the left, you've got a great close-up of lichenification. See how the normal skin lines look so much deeper and more exaggerated? That's a direct result of chronic rubbing and scratching. And on the right, you see exactly where it loves to happen, that classic flexural dermatitis in the crease behind the knees.
So what about in adults? Well, the pattern can definitely continue from childhood, with that thick, leathery skin in the flexures. But very often, the main battleground shifts, and the hands and face become the most persistent and, frankly, problematic areas. The eczema can also pop up in more localized patches, for instance on the nipples, especially in young women. And wow, this image really captures what that can look like in an adult. You can clearly see the thickened, almost bark-like texture of the lichenification right next to those raw, scratched areas. It's a powerful visual of just how intense and damaging that itch can be.
Let's really zero in on the hands for a second, because for so many adults, this is the biggest daily struggle. More than half of people with active eczema deal with it on their hands. It can look patchy, it can have tiny blisters, or it can be thick and leathery. And something that often gets overlooked is how it affects the nails, causing deep pits and ridges. The feet are often involved in a really similar way too. This is such a telling image. It's not just the skin around the nail that's affected. Look at the nail itself. You can really see that coarse pitting and those uneven ridges. That's a direct result of inflammation happening way back at the nail root. It just drives home how deeply this condition can impact the skin and all its structures.
All right, for our final section, let's pull the camera back a bit. The impact of atopic dermatitis goes way beyond what you see on the skin. We're going to look at some of its wider complications and also at other conditions that can look so similar that they make diagnosis a real challenge.
The complications can be pretty significant. On a day-to-day level, that constant itch disrupts sleep and can just tank your quality of life, causing a ton of stress for the whole family. In really severe cases, in kids, it can even affect their growth. And physically, that broken skin barrier is like an open door for nasty bacterial and viral infections. You can also see related eye issues, like an extra fold of skin under the lower eyelid that's caused by all that chronic inflammation.
Because atopic dermatitis is, at its heart, an itchy rash, a huge part of diagnosis is ruling out all the other things that can look just like it. A doctor's first thought will be to check for common culprits, like scabies or a contact allergy. But if the case is a bit unusual, they may have to dig deeper and investigate a whole list of much rarer genetic syndromes that can also show up with an eczema-like rash.
And that brings us to our final thought for the day. Atopic dermatitis is so much more than just a skin condition. It's this amazing window into the really complex dance between our genes, our immune system, and the world we live in. So as we get smarter about this one condition, it makes you wonder, right? How will that new knowledge completely reshape how we treat the entire family of allergic diseases in the future?
Thanks for watching. Hit like, share, and subscribe to the Dermatology Studio. Ask your skin queries in the comments below.